the big sick, more like the big surprise, because this movie was a surprise, because it was really good. The Big Sick is a romantic comedy directed by Michael Showalter, starring Kumail Nanjiani, Zoe Kazan, Holly Hunter, and Ray Romano. The film is based on a true story and follows Kumail as he tries to pursue a stand-up comedy career, as well as how his relationship grows with this girl named Emily and Emily's parents. I went into this movie not really knowing anything about it because I only heard about it a few weeks ago after a lot of buzz started to grow. I am so glad that I went into this movie not knowing anything because it truly surprised me, and it's one of my favorite movies I've seen this year. It's funny, it's endearing, it's relatable, and it's honest. It's really hard nowadays to find a romantic comedy that stands out above the rest and is original and wholly unique, and this movie really hits the nail in those categories. There is a certain authenticity to everything, and I think that can be attributed to the fact that this is a true story. All of the characters are fantastic, as well as the actors portraying these characters, and everyone was just so honest and believable. Because it is a very personal story, it makes it so much more relatable for audiences and likable, and there's just a certain charm to everything about the movie. The movie is just so beautifully raw and full of life, and as a result, it has a lot of heart. And it really resonated with me and struck a chord in me, and I haven't had a movie impact me like that in a long time. Now, for me personally, there is a very specific reason why this movie struck such a particular chord in me, but I don't want to say why because it is a minor spoiler. The spoiler is in the trailer, so technically it's not a spoiler, but I really don't want to say exactly what it is because I think it's better to just go into this movie not knowing what to expect. Everything that happens in the second act of this movie really hit home for me, and it just made me reflect on my own recent experiences and my loved ones and my family and my friends, and I love when a movie can do that. I know that sounds really vague, but you guys just have to trust me when I say that going into this movie blind truly will enhance the experience. For those that don't care about the minor spoiler, I will talk about what happens more specifically and why it resonates with me at the very end of the video. So if you don't want that minor spoiler, you can keep watching until this timestamp. Now let's talk about Kumail Nanjiani. I haven't seen too much from him. I know who he is and I've seen him in some smaller roles, but otherwise this is the first big thing that I've seen from him. He co-wrote this film and stars in it, and he did such an excellent job. The screenplay was hilarious, but it also has a lot of heart and emotion because of its charming story and characters. The chemistry between Kumail Nanjiani and Zoe Kazan was great. You really believe in the relationship, and you can understand both characters' point of views when problems arise. Even though at the center of this movie it is a love story, I really loved the relationship that Kumail had with Emily's parents. Ray Romano and Holly Hunter were excellent as Emily's parents. They did such a fantastic job. The things that Kumail and Emily's parents go through are my favorite parts of the movie, and I love the kind of relationship that blossoms between these three people. One thing I didn't address about this movie that is a very major component of the film is Kumail's family. Kumail's family comes from Pakistan, and his parents are very traditional Muslim parents. They want Kumail to have an arranged marriage, and his mom is constantly having these girls drop by during their family dinners to introduce him to these girls. However, Kumail is very Americanized and he doesn't want to have an arranged marriage, but he doesn't know how to confront his parents about it. There's a lot that this movie touches on regarding religion and family and traditions and relationships, and it's very interesting to see so many people's different perspectives on it. I just can't give this movie enough praise. I think it is phenomenal, and I highly encourage everyone to go see it. There is a slightly sudden shift in tone during the second act of the movie, which some people might be thrown off by, but for me, it didn't bother me at all. In fact, I think it only added to the depth that this movie has to offer. If you're looking for a movie that is fresh and realistic and hilarious and emotional, watch The Big Sick. I'm going to give The Big Sick an A and buy it on Blu-ray. I need to show all of my friends this movie. It is just so good. Alright, so now I am going to be talking about that minor spoiler. So spoiler alert for those that don't want to know anything about the movie, which I encourage. Leave the video, but I know some of you guys are gonna be like, well, I want to know what's going on. Maybe I can't see this movie, or maybe I want to know more about it. So here you go. In the second act of this movie, Emily gets sick, and she has to go into a medically induced coma. As a result, Kumail and Emily's parents are forced to spend a lot of time together in the hospital waiting to see what happens with Emily. With the title being The Big Sick, I guess it should have been obvious that there was going to be some sort of sickness involved, but I kind of just thought it was going to be, oh, lovesick, blah, blah, blah. I'm personally very glad that I didn't know she was going to be getting sick in the middle of the movie. It completely changed the viewing experience for me, and the reason it resonated with me so personally is because I recently had a friend who was sick in the hospital, and I visited her 2 times. Kumail's experience in the hospital with Emily's parents is very intimate and very hard to watch at times. I think anyone that has had a sick loved one or a loved one be in the hospital will be able to relate to this movie. This movie made me reflect so much on the experiences that I've had recently in the past year that at one point I just started crying, not because of what was happening on screen at all, but just because of my own experiences. There have only been a few movies that have done that for me, and I think that's saying a lot, especially because I cry very easily in movies. Because the first act did such a great job with developing Kumail and Emily and all these other characters, you really care about everyone. And even though Emily's parents are just kind of thrown into the mix like that, you care for them too. It was just such a twist in the movie that I wasn't expecting at all, and I really think it added a lot of layers to the movie. Anyway, that's all I want to say about The Big Sick. Thank you guys so much for watching my review. If you enjoyed it, please let me know how you felt about it in the comments below. And please watch The Big Sick and tell me what you think about it as well. I would really love to talk to other people about the movie and see if anyone else had a similar experience to me where they found some of the stuff in the second act very relatable. If you're going to talk about the minor spoiler though, please be sure to say spoiler in your comment. I don't want other people to get spoiled just in case. Anyway, that wraps it up for this review. Please subscribe if you'd like to see more of my videos, and I'll see you in the next one.